Well, good afternoon. Welcome. This is the 3 p.m. press briefing for the park incident. I'm Jonathan Cox, CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3. The intention of this briefing is to share the latest incident information. Today we'll have speakers from both Butte and Tam County. To start things off, we'll hear from Mark Brunton, Operations Section Chief with CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3.
Good afternoon. Since our last briefing yesterday afternoon, we had some significant fire activity late yesterday afternoon and throughout the evening and into today. So go through what's occurred in the past 24 hours and some challenges that we're facing and what we're doing to mitigate those issues. So starting on the western part of the fire, all the way through what we call branch 10, that's looking really good, continuing to mop up patrol. And no issues there. As we move up the western part of the fire, been putting in direct line as we have it available, making good progress for the most part. Late yesterday afternoon, just below the Highway 36 corridor on the left shoulder of the fire, we started having significant spotting conditions. We had some direct line going from Hogsback down to Antelope Creek, and then from Hogsback towards 36. While we were doing that, the spotting occurred and jumped some of those lines. Our resources in the area were able to take care of some of those, but some ended up gaining some steam, and they've been combating them throughout the afternoon and throughout the evening. Currently, as we sit in that area, 36 and Battle Creek, that's holding at this point. So we've got some lines around that. We're continuing to try to take out any of the hot spots within that area, but no significant movement throughout the day. We've also been flying our aircraft in that area to combat those spots. We also had a major run late yesterday afternoon from Inskip to Lanes Valley. That was very challenging for our personnel. So Highway 36 and Lanes Valley, basically right now that's hung up in a very inaccessible terrain, attempting to go direct with our resources, but that's been a real challenge with that topography. So we're also at the same time constructing contingency lines in the case that we can't get in there and go direct on the incident. As we come around the horn towards Highway 32 corridor and working down that way, again, that's very steep, rugged terrain, heavy fuels. We have a lot of resources trying to go direct within there, a lot of challenges with that. And there are a number of structures, cabins, and so forth, improvements within that area. So resources are very busy doing prep in the Lassen Lodge area and the Mill Creek Ranch area. So that activity is taking place. Also, they're looking at working with branch 20 to where they're going to connect the control lines between the two branches. Again, due to the topography, terrain, very difficult to come up with a very easy solution to that. But they are working. As we work our way down, just above Butte Meadows, the slop that we had, spot we had a few days ago, 150, 200 acres, continuing to mop that up and put line in secondary line. That's been very challenging with the heavy fuels. Creates a lot of heat, and when we do get the conditions with the weather as it dries out, some wind, those have been challenging us with various spot fires. With so far the resources have been able to pick up and control before they've got any head of steam to them. Fire did cross late last night, Ponderosa Road, and we do have fire established into Mill Creek. Currently, that is very socked in with smoke, so it's very difficult for our folks to be able to see inside there, and very dangerous for us to put firefighters directly into there because we cannot see what the main fire is doing. We were able to see through some imagery that there is heat buildup within that area, and we are monitoring that through the imagery. And due to the smoke conditions, we're unable to fly any aircraft to support that mission, so we're having to back off further and fall back to our contingency lines. That may end up being our primary lines if we cannot have the air clear and get in there and start attacking that directly. As we move further down the 32 corridor, that's looking a lot better. We had a firing operation a couple days ago that we've had to slow down, hang up for a period of time due to condition changes. That's been going very well. We've gotten good buildup in that area with what we're considering successes with the burn operation. but that's continuing on. We've held that up a couple times just because conditions have changed tremendously. So once hopefully we get the right conditions later this evening, we'll continue that, and we're really close to finishing that project up. Moving down Forest Ranch, which we had repopulated there, we're still continuing mop up and patrol within that area. The community that's repopulated and calls for service from community members that have moved back in. Same, the area of Cohasset, we're working to render that safe, mop up, and get that into a better condition. And then continue to move down the rest of the fire. Everything's looking really good. Patrol, mop up status, and very happy with what we got going on there. Our contingency lines in the Shasta zone, well ahead of the fire, those contingency lines are nearing completion. They have a really robust project up there and plan for that, and that's going very well. Through Tam County, we have some significant control lines there and contingency lines. Those are continuing to be improved. Should have some completion with putting all the different lines together, probably within the next 24 hours, and then from there improving that contingency line. Along the Butte side, that's probably about 3/4 of the way completed. We've been utilizing a lot of fuel breaks and previous fuels reduction projects to help us along with that. That's expedited the process, but they're continuing to work their way back now towards that Mill Creek drainage, so that can kind of give us contingency if the fire were to come out, so it doesn't come back and hook around us again. So a lot of hard work with our contingency planning. As I said, with the aircraft, currently we have 39 rotor wing aircraft assigned to the incident. We have 3 helibases, and we're looking at standing up a 4th helibase, flying our aircraft as much as we possibly can based on the smoke conditions. And once we do, all aircraft will be flying consistently with the different helibases that allows us to get into areas, if one area is smoked out, that they can still fly the aircraft. Our fixed-wing aircraft are also flying when able to, when the conditions present themselves.
Speaking next from CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3, Incident Commander Billy C.
All right, good afternoon. The park incident sits at 385,000 acres. 53,000 is in Butte County. 332,000 is in Tam County. It's currently 14% contained. Nearly 5,600 personnel are assigned to the incident, including 90 hand crews, 497 engines, 170 dozers, and 115 water tenders. The damage inspection process of this entire footprint, we have 11 two-person teams in the field surveying the entire perimeter and interior of this incident. Currently in Butte County, they're 55% completed, which includes 682 inspections. We've had 139 destroyed structures, which include 87 single-family dwellings. There is a 76% survival rate of all structures within Butte County that has been assessed thus far. Within Tam County, 75% of the perimeter has been inspected. We've had 55 damaged or destroyed structures, which include a total of 29 single-family dwellings. Also, we've had 2 damaged structures within Tam, and also we've had 76% survival rate of all structures that have been inspected thus far. The park incident is the largest fire in California for 2024. It sits as the 5th largest fire in California's wildfire history in only the last 7 days. Additionally, this is the 2nd largest fire in history with a single ignition source. The remainders of the fires above it, other than the Dixie fire, were lightning complexes with multiple ignitions and multiple fires burning together. Obviously, the Dixie started within Butte County. This region has been impacted over the last several years by multiple large damaging and destroying wildfires. We anticipate additional personnel arriving on the incident, which will include well over 6,000 personnel assigned, including additional engines, hand crews, and dozers coming in from out-of-state agreements that the state of California and the Office of Emergency Services has. Thank you.
Speaking next from the CAL FIRE Butte Unit and Butte County Fire Department, Unit and Fire Chief Garrett Scholin.
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to highlight the 76% survival rate that the IC mentioned regarding structures here in Butte County. And that is attributed to, I believe, three things here in Butte County. One is our messaging of our Be Ready Butte on wildfire preparedness, and the combination of our defensible space inspections motivated you to prepare yourself and your property for fire here in Butte County. It's still not too late if you haven't been affected by a fire to visit Be Ready Butte and look at those resources that are available for you. Also, by you preparing your property with defensible space, it has allowed our limited resources upon initial attack to move through our communities as the fire did, following the fire front and defending those structures that were prepared quickly. And third is Mother Nature's fortune. And even we don't quite recognize or understand when a house or residence or structure survives and one does not. I also want to take a moment and express my gratitude to the nearly 6,000 personnel that have once again come to the help of us here in Butte County and the citizens with this fire. And lastly, as our partner agency, the Butte County Sheriff Office works with our incident management team on the repopulation of folks getting back home. Know that there are hot spots, and we've mentioned it a few times, around your residences or structures that you're back at. If you're not comfortable with those, please reach out to the fire engines that are in your communities or call the fire department, and we'll get a resource out there to help you deal with those. Be safe, and please don't do anything that you do not feel comfortable handling there. Thank you.
Speaking next is the Butte County Sheriff.
Good afternoon, everyone. Things are continuing to improve in Butte County, and I'm very, very pleased with that. I'll begin by reiterating my gratitude towards our counterparts in Butte County Fire and CAL FIRE. I think they've done a fantastic job, and their excellent working relationship with us, I think, is serving the citizens of Butte County quite well. Also want to express my gratitude and thanks to all of the law enforcement agencies in Northern California who have sent us resources to help us protect this community. We have had to ask for that help time and time again, and I'm really glad that they continue to keep coming. Last, I want to thank the members of our community. Frankly, the people of Butte County are a special group of people. There's a lot of resiliency in this community. There's tremendous support for first responders and public safety, and frankly, we couldn't do this without that kind of support, so we appreciate that. Yesterday evening, we were able to downgrade the evacuation the evacuation order in Forest Ranch to an evacuation warning, which is a good thing because it allowed people to get back to their homes. I'll reiterate what Chief Scholin said, is be careful of those hot spots. In addition to that, this morning we were able to remove the evacuation warnings for zones 363, 361, 286, and 270 in the area of Chico and Forest Ranch. For a full list of road closures, I'd like you to visit buttecounty.net, and you'll be able to get that information. So as we stand right now, it looks like we have about 2,000 people in Butte County who remain under evacuation orders, mostly out of the Cohasset area, and I can assure you that we are working rapidly to try to get you back into your homes. As I reported yesterday, we were going to work on trying to get an escort program up into the Cohasset area started again. I'm happy to report that we have resumed that program for the residents of Cohasset. Keep in mind, though, we're going to evaluate all of the requests on a case-by-case basis. We're going to have to prioritize them, and we can only accommodate them when we have sufficient resources. There will be times when we'll have to dedicate our law enforcement resources to other more pressing matters, and when that happens, we will pause the program and then resume as quickly as we can. As I said last night, I need you to be cognizant of the impact that rude and offensive language has on my dispatch staff. They are running quite thin. They've been working quite hard, and so if we find out that you're being deceptive or abusive to my staff, your request is going to go to the bottom of the list, and we'll get to it if we get to it after everybody else has been addressed. For escorts, you can contact the Butte County Sheriff's Office non-emergency line, which is 530-538-7322. Again, 530-538-7322. Contact them, tell them what you need, be nice, and we'll do our best. Now I'd like to report out on an arrest that was made yesterday. Yesterday evening, BCSO deputies were dispatched to a report of possible looters in the area of Sycamore Valley Road in Chico. When deputies arrived in the area, they located a truck with 3 individuals parked at a roadblock near the intersection of Sycamore Valley Road and Cohasset Road. After further investigation, it was determined that 2 females had exited the truck and ran into the area that is under an evacuation order. Deputies ultimately searched the area and located those 2 females. They were later identified as Delmara Apel, age 41, of Cohasset, and Amy Jackson, age 43, of Chico. They were about a half a mile into the area that had been evacuated. Deputies had cause to believe that Apel and Jackson purposely entered the area, which they knew was under an evacuation order, and they did so in violation of the law. They were both arrested. Both Jackson and Apel were placed under arrest, transported to the Butte County Jail. Once at the jail, both Jackson and Apel were placed in the body scanner that we have there at the jail to detect contraband. And at that point, a bag of methamphetamine and a glass pipe were discovered hidden on Apel's person. Both Apel and Jackson were booked for unlawfully entering the area upon evacuation, and an additional charge of smuggling methamphetamine into the jail was added to Apel's charges. Folks, I guess we're going to file this one under you play stupid games and you're going to get stupid prizes. We're serious about this. If you try to get into the area, we're going to take enforcement action. So please bear with us and follow the law. Thank you.
Speaking next from Butte County, Public Information.
Good afternoon, Miranda Bowersox, Public Information Officer. The county is opening a local assistance center to assist residents impacted by the recent fires in Butte County. The local assistance center will open on Monday, August 5th at 9 a.m. It'll be located at 2156 Pillsbury Road, Suite 100 in Chico. Representatives from county, state, and nonprofit agencies will be available to assist residents at that local assistance center. As park fire evacuation orders are lifted and the repopulation of impacted communities begins, please keep in mind the fire has affected animals in the area. In response, the county has partnered with local contractors to provide deceased animal removal services. In the unfortunate event that you locate deceased animal remains, please call the North Valley Animal Disaster Group hotline at 530-895-0000. Thank you.
We'll now get an update from Tehama County officials in Red Bluff.
Good afternoon. My name is Monty Smith. I'm the CAL FIRE Tama Glen Unit Chief and Tama County Fire Department Fire Chief. Our first responders are engaged in containing the fire that has threatened and continues to threaten the communities and natural resources of eastern Tama County and Shasta County. This incident has affected our neighbors, our family members, friends, and local first responders. We continue to work hard to contain the fire and begin recovering together as a community. We greatly appreciate the support from the responders who have traveled here from across the state and nation, not only to combat this fire, but to also cover our local fire stations throughout the North State to continue to provide the service to the public in their time of need. I want to extend a huge thank you to the citizens of Tama County and Shasta County for their outpouring of support for your first responders. Without your support, we would not be able to be successful. Thank you.
Afternoon, Dave Kane, Tama County Sheriff. I want to echo the efforts and the comments of many of those out there. It's very humbling to have spent my life in this community and see the magnitude of people that are here to assist our communities, our small hill communities, and our county as a whole, from this region, from the state, from the nation. And I applaud that and appreciate that. Also, I think that we are doing the best that we can, and I think the citizens of our county see that, and they are being patient and understanding. A perfect example of that today is we have our feeding, watering, and animal transportation program. It has been continuing. After a little bit of a close call, we had an individual that went up there to the Manton area yesterday and decided that he was going to stay and not exit. I personally went up and talked to him, explained how that was going to impact the rest of that community, and he did not want it to affect his neighbors and other people living in that community. So he promptly left and came back down out of the evacuation zone. So we appreciate that. If you're looking to get into your property for feeding, watering, and animal transportation, as we're still doing it, you can call our main office at area code 530-529-7940. Also, to schedule an appointment. You can also contact the Tam County Ag Department and determine how to apply for an ag permit, which they will help work with us to facilitate entry into those areas as well. To contact or to discuss the law side of things today, we responded to a medical call this afternoon as a citizen who refused to evacuate from the Manton area. They diverted emergency personnel for a welfare check for medical concerns. After talking to him for some time, it was determined that he still was going to refuse to leave his property and did not meet the elements of being taken away at this point. I just want to remind everybody that these type of impacts negatively affects the efforts being done in that area. It causes unneeded diversion from firefighting efforts. And so I would ask that, when we ask you to evacuate, there's good reason for it. Also, we had sergeants respond to the Ponderosa Sky Ranch area to contact a subject who also refused to evacuate after he called our 911 dispatch center requesting a fire update. When we arrived on scene, we contacted Mr. Nicholas Ginn. When he was contacted, he initially provided our sergeants with his brother's name. The sergeants quickly discovered that this was not who they were talking to and identified his true identity. Mr. Ginn had 3 felony warrants for his arrest. He was arrested. He's since been evacuated, and we have a place for him to stay tonight. Again, as is indicated, if you don't want to have negative contact with law enforcement, then just evacuate safely, get out of the area, and we will be up there. We're even seeing some good Samaritans trying to come into the area to help other people out. Again, it just gets in the way. We're asking people to stay out of the area. We will let you know as soon as we can get people back in. I want to address some of the rumors regarding looting. We've got a lot of concerns about that in our area. We have not had one incident of looting yet. As I reported yesterday, we had a theft. It was an internal theft from someone who lived on the property. And I know there have been some other indications of looting in other areas, but I want to assure the citizens of our county that we have not had any yet. We will deal with them when that time comes. Again, I would ask for you guys to be patient and to be respectful of everyone that's working during this time and try to allow them to do their job. They're doing the best they can with the resources they have. Thank you very much.
As a reminder, all of the latest incident information, including fire perimeter, maps, social media links, and links to other agencies can be found at fire.ca.gov. This concludes our press briefing. Thank you for joining.